What do you know about the rubber dam? Whatever you know, just tell me so that we can learn the more about it.
Isolation.
Yeah, rubber dam is for isolation.
For reducing the contamination and to get the better output, treatment output.
Yes.
Prevent other tooth being affected.
Damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know more about it. Is any disturbance in my screen or everything is good? Here I come. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. But I think you have to maximize your PPT, ma'am.
That's what I was saying. It's already maximized, please. Now is it big or screen is maximized?
Behind the rubber dam, your mail, Gmail is, yeah, now it is okay.
Now?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can see.
Yeah. Tooth isolation using rubber dam is a standard of care. This statement has given by American Association of Endodontics. Now these days, like if you want to do any standard root canal, so it is always under rubber dam. The thing why under rubber dam is that when you're using our success of root canal is only with our mechanical and chemical cleaning of the canals. So mechanical definitely you will be doing with our file, the chemical with our irrigants. So if you want to use our irrigants, all our irrigants should not be sorrowed. So if we place a rubber dam, we can use nicely our irrigants. It will clean the canal and we can see the success of that. So if you want to use the irrigants, then you have to place the rubber dam. Or else, if you're not using the chemical sterilization, then there is no success in your root canal. So if you want to use the chemical things, then rubber dam is must. Not only that, the visibility also increases. So what are the goals of isolation? The goals of isolation, the first one is the moisture control. So if you don't place the rubber dam, the saliva will get enter when you're placing a restorative material. If you're doing a composite, imagine. And before placing, you are bonding anything, or after placing, if saliva get contaminated, there is no bond strength again. Then that will lead to the failure of the restoration. That's the reason we have to place the isolation is must. And retraction and access. So we have, if you place a rubber dam, then the dentist mind will be in that particular area. So we can concentrate more and we can do the best. And again, if you're doing our cleaning and shaping, mechanical cleaning and shaping, and we're holding a file, imagine if it has slipped and patient has swallowed, it will become a threat. Then to avoid that one, if you place a rubber dam, we can avoid even that one also. So advantages, dry clean operating field. Like see here, in this picture, the dentist is concentrating on the required area. He is not focusing like on the tongue, soft tissue, anything else. So first he has seen, diagnosed it clearly and has placed a rubber dam, and now he is like very specific to that particular treatment. So properties of dental material, which I have already told. Protection of patient and the operator. Cross-contamination we can avoid. Efficiency can be increased. The disadvantages with the rubber dam are communication with the patient is difficult. Obviously, so what we have to do? First, the helping tips are first communicate the treatment what you want to do. So if you have given a root canal treatment and you want to perform, so before placing the rubber dam, don't place as a mechanically. Chalo, we have to place a rubber dam. I will place a rubber dam. Not like that. Just explain coolly with the patient. You can, as in this picture they are showing. First, tell about the root canal. Okay, tell about the what procedures we are going to do in this 3 days or 2 days or 1 day, whatever is the treatment protocol. So these are all the things we are going to do. The root canal means this to do the best to make your tooth painless or efficient as it was working previously. We have to place rubber dam. Tell the importance of rubber dam, at least 2 or 3 importance like cross contamination. You can explain to the patient, then automatically they will be motivated to to place rubber dam in their mouth, or else they'll be saying, why are you placing, it is not needed, in other clinic they have not placed, why you people are placing, all these cross questions will come. So just explain, communicate with the patient. So this is the treatment protocol of yours. To, or in order to do the best treatment for you, then we have to place the rubber dam. The advantage of rubber dam is cross contamination, like it will be good for you. Then again, you have to give the few tips to them. Like if you have a pain, just raise your left hand, I will stop. Because when the patient is wearing rubber dam, he can't speak. Okay. Then you can just explain prior only. If you have a pain anywhere during the mid of the treatment, just raise your left hand, I will stop. Okay. And if you're comfortable, keep the thumb up, then I will start. Just give an introduction to the patient, then start. Again, incorrect use of damage. Imagine if you want to do RC and already crown is placed. In that situation, placing a rubber dam to that particular tooth is difficult. So in that situations, you have to isolate one tooth ahead or like front and back for the more convenience thing. So insecure clamps can be swallowed or aspirated. So here we have to tie the floss to the clamp. It is mandatory. What should be the length of that floss? The floss should be it should be of length of 30 centimeters or 1 cubit. If it is that much length, if by mistake patient swallows also, we can drag it. That's the reason of placing a floss. I see here many doctors, they place a floss of 1 inch or this much length. Then what is the use of that? It is not at all useful. So you should have a good length so that like unfortunately something happens, you can drag it. So it should be of 1 cubit or 30 centimeters. And it should secure all the bow of the clamp. So contraindications. Up to my thing, I don't feel that there is no absolute contraindication other than asthma. All others are relative contraindications. So like a partially erupted tooth is there. In that situations, here it is very ideal. There is no need of any treatment. If you want to do any root canal to that, do the gingivectomy. Do gingivectomy. If there is a class 2, do pre-endo buildup and place rubber dam. If there is a no retention, then run a gingival barrier over there and place a clamp. Try to select or improve your skills as much as possible in order to facilitate the placement of the rubber dam. If it is really not possible, then you can leave. Like where there is a grossly decayed, where you can't rest your clamp hooks on the tooth. In that situation also, I prefer to place a clamp on the back tooth, distal tooth, and wedges in the required area. In that way also, that's the reason I said that there is no absolute contraindication, only asthma or breathlessness or any other health issues. Dentally, all things are indicated only. Just you have to improve the skills. So if this is the situation, like extremely malposed, in that situation, keep the clamps on the back tooth and place the wedges. So asthmatic patient are really absolute contraindication, don't place. Allergic to latex. If you feel the patient is allergic to latex, then we have a separator called as napkins. So they separate rubber dam sheet and do a soft tissue. It's a paper type called as napkin. We have to purchase that and we have to place that one. If we don't have, if it's a small procedure, then we can leave. Yeah, moth breeders are again an absolute contraindication. Don't place rubber dam. Now let us see materials and so parts, what this rubber dam kit contains. As here we can see, this is sheet, the green color. So we have different colors, okay. This is sponge, this is forceps, this is clamp, this is frame. So in the evening, we have a session where practically we are showing how to place the rubber dam. So accessories, petroleum jelly. So in order to place a rubber dam sheet, it acts as a lubricant. So if you feel that it is not passing from the tooth surface, just you can apply a lubricant or petroleum jelly on the latex rubber dam sheet and run it. Then definitely it can pass the tooth surface. Dental floss, widgets, rubber dam napkin. I said when allergic patients are there, then we need rubber dam napkins. So rubber dam sheets, usually we have sizes 5x5. Okay, so this one we use in pedo. Next size is 6x6. This is the adult size, most commonly used one. And we have multiple colors. Here we have written blue and green. This is acceptable colors. We have called as black. These are good. These are the latest color, black one. It is for the documentation purpose. So whenever the camera tooth is white and the rubber dam sheet is black, then the visibility, everything contrast is good. That is the reason they have come recently color with the black for documentation. And we have dark purple and dull and reflecting sides. So the dull side should be towards the operator and the reflecting sides towards the soft tissue. The dull side why towards the operator means, like if you are performing, it should not just deviate our mode. So the surface should be dull. Reflecting sides on the oral mucosa, if any saliva is there, any lubricant is it's smooth surface, so it will reflect and fall into the oral mucosa. And the latest one we have getting the latex free rubber dam called as flexi dam. So thickness of rubber dam sheet. So when we come to the thickness of rubber dam sheet, we have ranges from thin, medium, heavy, extra heavy, special heavy. So thin sheets, it is like if you want to perform any short duration, electron fixation and anything, then you can use this thin. Medium, it is all for our rotary, like root canals and all these things, we use the medium. So in which cases we have to do heavy means, if you want to do anterior any aesthetic case, like if you want to do like midland diastema closure or class 4, then in order to do like rubber dam tug-in, we need heavy sheets. And extra heavy again for documentation purpose and to do the roll-on. Special heavy at the full mouth bleaching you want to do in a single shot. Then compared to the medium, special heavy is better because due to this heaviness, if you stretch it more also, it will not get tear. So we can't buy all the sheets in our clinic. So we can purchase medium one if you're into the endo. If you want to do any aesthetic cases, any documentation anterior cases, then heavy. Don't it is not required to buy extra heavy and special heavy. That is about the sheet. Now let us see about the frame. So we have different type like metal frame and plastic frame. Okay, so metal frame, it should be autoclavable, like it should have hooks. So here you can see the hooks. Okay, when you we should hold our sheet to this hook. so that it will get stabilized. This is called as articulated frame. Okay, here when we keep this frame, patient can open and close. That facility can be is available with this type of frames. This is a different model of frame. Now let us know something about the clamps. So clamps are of different types. Okay, we can divide the clamps into easily as posterior clamp and anterior. First division is posterior, anterior. In that way, we can remember very easily. So for posterior clamp, if you see any clamp, it has a bow. Okay, these are the prongs. Okay, these are the wings. Okay, this is the hole to hold the clamp. And again, something will have extra holes to tie the floss. So the purpose is that anchor the rubber dam to the tooth, helps for retraction in the gingiva. These are the parts just now I have told. 4 prongs, 2 jaws and 1 bow. So how it should be placed in the mouth? It should be placed so that all the line angles should be in contact. Okay. If you have gap like this, no issue. But the line, it should match the line angles. And it should be gingivally directed. If you want to retract more. If you feel that in endo, that is better. If you want to do something like a non-traumatizing type, then we have equigingival hooks points also that can also be used. Okay, in this chart, these are for the anteriors, clamp for front teeth. So if you see for the front teeth, it has a double bow like this. So every clamp you can see it is like a butterfly, double bow butterfly. So the wider area should be at the lingual, the narrow area should be at the buccal. So that when you do your access opening, it will start from the lingual now. Then that is the reason the lingual one should be have a broader. This is for premolar. The difference between the molar and the premolar is that the mesodistal dimension. Here you can see the mesodistal dimension is very less. The thickness of our molar is also 4 to 6 mm. That's the reason the thickness, the distance between the two wings is less. If you compare to the molar, see here, it is 402 or 405, where the mesodistal dimension is more. Again, this is for the premolar or pedomolars. The mesodistal dimension is less here. So this is the premolar clamp. Okay, if you observe this, the prongs are not gingivally directed. That is equally. If it is equally, we call it as hygienic clamp. It is not impinging on the gingiva. All these are equi-gingival. This is called as a tiger clamp. Okay, where it has serrations, so that to hold the tooth, it is beneficial. SD Silker's Gleeman's clamp. This is the latest clamp. When you feel that this tooth, if imagine this is your 6, okay, and this is your 5, okay, this is your 4. Your 4, 5 is grossly decayed, but you want to retract it, then place a 4 contact point on the 6 and retract 5 and retract 4. In these situations, we can use this. This is a newer version for the retraction of 2 or 3 teeth at a time. And again, we have come with the wingless clamps. Again, these are also new versions where wings are not there. If you see a case where the tooth height is very less and it can't hold the tooth properly, then place a rubber dam sheet first, engage it, then place a wingless clamp over it. In that way, we can use this clamp. So case selection is important. So we have this many range of rubber dam clamps So only thing is that we should learn the case selection. Once you come to our preclinical, then you'll be learning that part also. Now let us move to the rubber dam forceps. Okay, it is useful for holding the clamp. Okay, they are designed to spread the two working ends of the forceps apart when the handle is squeezed together. Okay, when this handle comes near, it will get separated. Then you can bring it near to the tooth surface and adapt it. Then you have to open the lock. Then it will get adapted to the tooth. These are the engages hooks. Now you can see this hook. This will engage into the holes of the clamp. So these are the different types of clamp. All the three varieties are available in our clinic. You can see. Now let us come to the punch. So it is called as rubber dam punch. It has a dash. Okay, we have in our clinic this one. It has a 6 different sizes of holes. The smaller for the lower anterior, and the last is for the molars, lower molars. So if you want to do the premolars, then you have to select the 3rd or 4th hole. You can see this picture. So here, which clamp they have used? It is a wingless clamp. Okay, it doesn't have any wings. Okay, for the molar, this is the hole. For the both the molars, the last two, this is the hole. For the regular molars, you can use the 4th one or 5th one hole. For the lower anteriors, 1st hole. For the upper anteriors, 2nd hole. For the premolars, upper or lower, it is a third one. Depending upon the mesodistal dimension, we can check with the 4th and 5th hole for the posteriors. If the tooth size is very big, then you can go with the 6th hole. So these holes tear easily when stretched during application over the retainer or the tooth. So you have to see that it should not be stretched more. Even though if it is not getting adapted, then you can add half part of hole once again. While using this material, this puncture, you should check the patency of the holes. If already one doctor has used it and a part of rubber dam like sheet is in that hole, when you press, it will not get completely. Then you have to, the hole should be very perfect round like a bindi. Now let us go to the template. As you all know, the template has maxilla and mandible, and in one template we can have adult and pedo. Rubber dam napkin. Just now I told you, any allergic patient, then you have to separate rubber dam sheet from the contact mucosa by applying this napkin. So if you don't have this, you can take our tissue papers, cut it and place there. Just to prevent the skin contact, this is the idea we have to follow. This is the lubricant. So when you punch, if you want to adapt to the tooth surface, if it is very tight, then you can add a little bit of lubricant. I think battery is less. Before that, I can complete maybe. Yeah. Technique of applications. We have 3 techniques of application. The first one is one-step technique. That means frame, sheet, clamp, all together we are placing. That is called all-in-one technique. The second one is rubber dam clamp first, then sheet. This second and next one is rubber dam sheet first. So this one we can see in our preclinical part. So what are the steps? First is the infiltrations. You have to give buccal infiltration and you have to give palatal infiltration. Once you have given the infiltration, so infiltration should be given to the tooth where you are placing the clamp. Okay, once infiltration is done, then check the selection of retainer. So it should have the 4-point contacts. 1, 2, at the palatal side 2. 4-point contact should be there. Once it is there, then you can, this is wingless. Here it's a picture of wingless. You should check the 4-point contact. And always the bow should be distally placed. So now let us see all-in-one technique. When the clamps is selected, continue. So all-in-one technique. Audio is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All-in-one technique. Here what we are doing, first we have given LA. We have selected our clamp. Based upon the template to the required tooth, we have to make a punch. Once punch is done, we have to place our, I'll start my pointer. Yeah. We have to place, we have to adapt our clamp to this sheet in a such a way that when you place, it should be in that position only. Okay, we have to see the angulation. So when you are doing this one, we have to make a 4 parts on the template, right? 1, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, so that it will be easy to you to place. Once you get habituated, then it is not required. As a starter level, you have to do that one. Adapt it, okay, like this. Now, with the clamp and sheet both together, go to near the tooth and place the clamp. Once you are done, then you have to place the frame. The frame can be placed from the top or it can be placed from the bottom depending upon the documentation pattern. So it will appear like this. Once you have done this, this wings has to be relieved with the plastic filling instrument. Okay, relieve these wings, then it will, once you relieve these wings, it will go and adapt at the C, like at the gingival level. So that in that way, we have to release the buccal and you have to release the palatal. I mean to say lingual or palatal, like this. Once you are done, check the contacts and run the floss. This is all-in-one technique. Now let us see the dam first technique. Here what we have the two, check the clamp selection has to be done. Once make the hole, okay, and adapt the rubber dam sheet first to the tooth surface. Okay, one doctor will adapt it. Then, okay, they have to hold like that. Another doctor who is working has to place the clamp. Then frame. This is called as, first we have kept the sheet first, na? That we called as rubber dam sheet first technique. Now it is another technique, third one, called as rubber dam clamp first technique. Here what we are especially, we say, in this cases we select the wingless. You are seeing here, it is a wingless clamp. When you want to work with the wingless clamp, then definitely you have to follow this technique only. Or else sheet first, not together. Sheet first or clamp first, any one technique you have to follow. So let us see now clamp first technique. First place the clamp like this, as shown the picture. Then you have already made the hole now. Then from the bow, try to pass your rubber dam sheet. Come from the below and adapt it. Check with the floss, free the margins and start with the procedures. This is a technique. Okay. So what are the additional features? Let me repeat here. The first technique is all-in-one technique where clamp and sheet both together you are placing. The second one technique is rubber dam sheet first technique where you are placing your sheet first, then you are placing the clamp. The third one is clamp first technique where you are placing the clamp first, then passing the sheet. Okay, like out of these three, both together is easy to perform. Next, if you want to do any anterior cases, especially aesthetic cases, we have to do this procedure called as everting the margins. So how to do that? Just make the hole, okay, and pass each hole individually like this. And place it, this is the wedget. The yellow thing we are seeing here, it is a wedget. Okay, once you pass like that, then retract retract the rubber dam sheet and blow air. Then it will become what you call dry. Then slowly with plastic filling instrument in the free, you can see the free gingival margin here. In this margin, you have to invert the rubber dam sheet. So especially when you're doing class 3s and class 4s, definitely you have to practice this technique. So saliva, when you're doing irrigation and anything, suction tip should be very near. So when you place this rubber dam sheet, you have to check. You have to check the stability. Again, here there is a wingless. These are wedges. Now we have done with the placement. Once you have completed your procedure, now we have to let us see the removal of dam. First, you have to cut the septa with the scissors. Then remove the retainer. Now remove the dam. After that, wipe the lips, rinse the mouth and massage the lips. And you can tell to a patient there may be a small lacerations on the margins. So you can tell to the patient that apply a little bit of any lubricant that can be petroleum jelly or ghee. This is about the rubber dam, basic one. Now they have come with some modifications in the design. This is easy to place, called as InstiDam, where there is no need of any frame. It has its own frame, inbuilt frame. This is another model. This is a model called as dry dam. These are expensive. Again, so we have few attachments called as cushioning. Cushioning on, like these are the prongs which hurt the tooth and soft tissue. So we can have cushions. It will be made up of resin, and it gives like soft feeling to the tooth surface. So now let us see some situations. In some situations, how to manage. Technique for special situations. Post multiple adjacent tooth require treatment or extreme mobility of teeth being treated. So how do you treat this? If you want to do multiple exposure, place the clamp on the distal part of the tooth and expose the anterior. So this technique you are performing in your preclinical. Okay. Partially erupted tooth or tooth with short clinical height. Then if you feel this tooth is of short clinical height, then after placing this rubber dam, you have to flow here composite or your gingival barrier so that it will act as a hook here and stabilize the clamp. This technique can be followed for the anterior or posterior. Here, as in this arrow is shown, if you have a class 2 and you want to do root canal, then you have to do pre-endo buildup, place the clamp, and you place here a little bit of gingival barrier so that your clamp will not come out. So severely broken down tooth, I have already shown this SG clamp. You have to place this one. So we have a technique called as double clamp technique. Especially follow this case when you're doing bleaching. If you want to do bleaching for the upper teeth, we place a clamp on both the 6 or right and left 6s and we expose all. Again, this technique also you are doing in your preclinical. Split dam technique, where you want to see much into the contacts, then we have to make the, if you want to expose 4 teeth, make the 4 holes and join the holes. Okay, join the holes and expose it and flow in the gaps a gingival barrier and work. In crowded tooth, we can use wedgets and expose. If you want to do root canal for already like the patient is having a braces, then in this way you have to place. So like if a patient is having braces, how to place rubber dam? No, nothing like that. We can place. So place a rubber dam sheet and flow all gingival barrier here. Here you can see the white one, the gingival barrier.
Ma'am, what if during treatment that braces thing will hurt the dam?
It will not hurt. We should relieve it and place. So keeping a dam on third molar is literally difficult. In that situations, we have a special clamps for third molar. You can use that one or else you can leave in that situations. So if you want to do FNI FPD, as in this picture, some FPD is there. You should follow the split dam technique. Because FPD, we can't send between the FPDs, it is as a unit. So we have to follow split dam technique. That means make the holes and join all the holes and place the rubber dam. If you want to perform any indirect restorations, then also you can use this method of split dam. So almost done. So you'll be thinking that I'm doing my root canal, my files are inside, how to take X-ray. We can take X-ray with our rubber dam also. No need to remove the rubber dam and take difficulty. So place your GPs on files, remove the frame and go for the X-ray. Here we can use paralleling technique X-ray or bisecting angle technique. Anything is okay. In our clinic, since we are using RVJ, we are using bisecting angle technique.